EA's Creek Golf Club so proudly present opening round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there. Settles in over the putt. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
So a tester from 4 feet. Steady as she goes, another par, and still even for the round. Now to the 16th hole as we get set for the finishing stretch. And Frank, what's the best way to play this relatively short par 4?
Somehow you've got to straighten.
And let's see what she's got here. She is loading up for the big one. Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
Is it stopped yet?
It's still going. Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
Oh, dude, that in the hole. Tremendous shot. Now to the 17th, par 5 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club.
Yeah, dogleg left. Tee shot obviously has to be played short of that creek down there. It's still going to be a reachable hole, even though this hole's sort of around the 550, 560 mark. But because you've got to play short of that stream, it's going to leave a lengthy second shot, and you've got to get the distance right on the button.
Oh, look out, Frank. Where's this one headed?
This is definitely rough, Rich, off the tee.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Frank, not close, but from that line, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Frank, it's one thing to jumpstart your round. This would ignite the round.
Yeah, you don't normally see 2 par 5s back-to-back, so the chances of having consecutive eagles is so rare.
So the eagle goes begging. He still has this for birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Moves into the top 10 with that birdie. '18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you'd think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, something 230, 240 yards off the tee in that vicinity is going to leave you just a flick wedge into this green. It is a rather narrow green, but from that distance, you'd expect to hit it close.
Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The two greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron, that's right, a 3-iron, on a short bunker shot from a green side bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing. There you have it, Frank. First round is complete. What are your thoughts, partner?
Rich, I think anyone inside the current top 10 of that leaderboard is certainly well placed to go on and take this championship.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present second round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Let's check in on the action at hole number 14. Steady play, good enough to get to the weekend, but Frank, is it good enough to get to the top of the leaderboard?
I think a lot will depend on what happens on Saturday, but right now there's enough good in the game. I'm just curious why we're not seeing the spark.
Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that?
That is just a beautiful shot. Little uphill to this green, Frank. Shot. 14th hole here at Wolf Creek. Time to pull out the driver and as well the foam because you want to take some pictures here. What a spectacular view.
Stunning. You can see a whole panoramic sort of 360 degrees right around this golf course. Then when you flick back and actually look at the 14th hole, there's 6 bunkers, 3 really in play with the tee shot, as you can see, the other 3 just up by the green. Anything to the right of those is preferred, unless you want to be playing your second shot out of the canyon or the bunkers. Green should be fairly receptive, and 3 distinct portions, which is sort of a common trait here at Wolf Creek. That's sort of 3 different tier levels and that. But let's see, birdies are to be made at Wolf Creek, maybe even one here. Rich, it's gone.
In the hole. You do not see that every day. That, folks, is a hole-in-one. Wow. From a short par 3 to a short par 4. Just 393 yards here at the 16th, Frank.
And when you stand on this tee, this hole looks anything other than straight. Goes to the left and comes back to the right. But if you can just fixate at the green in the distance, you're actually going to look like a relatively straight par 4. And that's the way the hole should be played. Look at those first 2 bunkers that you see and just try and split those. Good tee shot here and nothing more than a wedge left into this green. Simplify it. That's the key.
the cup. What a shot. You can't get much better than that. Short par 4, 16th hole, measures only 393 yards. But Frank, as is the case with pretty much every hole, despite the yardage, there's plenty of trouble.
It does. It plays tricks on the mind's eye here. It looks like it's a dog leg going one way, then back the other way. But really, it's built as a straight hole just across the canyon. And that's the way you've got to play it. I don't think you can drive the green, even the longest hitters at 393 yards. But just a nice drive down there. Take the bunkers on, get it past there. And before you know it, you've got a little wedge in here. And it should sit up nicely for a birdie. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Here's the second shot from 180. Shot.
What are the chances of making it from that?
So 2 holes left to play. Now the final par 5 on the course, 562 yards, the 17th.
The drive looks relatively straightforward. And I say that because there's a little creek down there that obviously you have to stay short of. But that's the fun part. They want to keep you back in an area where you go, can I hit the second shot across the stream, across the water, and still keep it on the green? And the answer is, I don't know.
Wouldn't call it a great approach shot, but it still ends up in the fringe.
A little bit of magic from here. The hole's not over.
It's in the hole. Just a sensational shot right there. Now the closing hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, what's ahead of us?
You could try and drive at this green, but there's too much trouble, really, Rich. Even though this hole's just over 300 yards, it's very ambitious to try and drive it across that water. Some might try. Most people try and hit a tee shot 240, 250-yard mark, and, of course, you do the maths, you're only going to have 60 or 70 yards in, and, well, they want you to finish on a good note. So a good drive in the fairway here, or 3-wood, pitch it on the green, make a 3, and buy your friends a drink in the clubhouse.
Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present third round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Always some extra excitement when you get to the first major championship of the year, and here we are. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada, for the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Partner, this is a big one.
It certainly is, Rich, and being the first major of the year, you know the players are going to be a little bit more nervous. Anticipations of a great year are going to start right here this week at Wolf Creek. And you're going to have to make all those adjustments out there. Is your game ready? Can you adjust for the changes in elevation? And do you have the confidence to go all the way and pick up the first major championship of the year?
Frank, what does the shot into this first green look like?
Well, it's back a little bit up the hill. Bunkers left and right, really the biggest concern. But a well-flighted shot to this 3-leveled green will be well rewarded.
Good-looking shot right here. Leaves that one about 20 feet out from the cup. Nicely played shot. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. We're ready to go. Off to the first hole. Frank, it's a different feeling on the first tee on a weekend, third round of a championship like this than, say, in the first round, isn't it?
You know you've got the grips of the golf course. You know the holes that are birdieable out there. More importantly, too, you know how well you're playing. It's all in front of you. Sport, especially like this at the highest level. That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, what do you think about this approach here at the second hole?
Once again, we're going to go a little bit back up the hill. Really, there's only that one bunker on the right. That shouldn't be in play. Green goes uphill and a little bit to the left, so you really got to try and make sure you work on the right distance there. Get that ball on the right tier where the flag is located.
That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Frank, 227 yards from the back tee here at the par 3 third. This is all you want.
Well, that's for sure. It plays a little longer than that, too, by virtue of playing uphill. Thin air might negate some of that. There's going to be a good shot just to keep the ball on the green. One of the smaller greens here. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Now on to the third, first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark.
They'll pay a little bit of a price for missing the fairway here because from that rough, you cannot control the spin on the golf ball.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present final round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Well, this is one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It's the EA Sports Spring Invitational, and just a stunning golf course. It's Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada. Hello again and welcome. Rich Turner alongside Frank Novello. And Frank, we're in for quite a day.
We are. We're going to see the decision-making processes of some of the fine players out there today. The reason why I say that, Rich, is because there's so much elevation here at Wolf Creek. So you're going to have to make those adjustments on the downhill and the uphill. Club selection decisions. And, of course, the one that does that the best is more than likely the one that's going to come out on top.
Frank, how about that?
Well, can you believe that, too? I mean, could have hit the flag and bounced away instead. Straight and amazing shot, and really deserved it.
We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank, it's 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh, my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough. Just persuade yourself that. Try not to look at the canyon and the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable.
Did you just see that?
She just made an ace, Rich. Amazing.
Hole in one. Yes. From a par 3 to a par 5 here at the 12th. It measures 560 yards. A sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It's 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. Perfect. And in the hole. What a shot. Par 5, 12th, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. That'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable in 2. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back.
And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. You know how to play this shot, Frank, right? You keep your chin up, you look down your nose at the ball, you have to pick it cleanly, and keep your head still. That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, I feel a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side. Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle-nosed down.
Can't even see it from here.
Second shot.
She is really dialed in. All facets of her game are clicking. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
It's amazing. Doesn't matter how close it goes. It's an extra shot. That one will definitely hurt.
Just 5 feet left. Dropping a shot here late in the round, Frank, with that bogey at the 14th. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
I love it. She just made a hole-in-one.
Join the LPJ. A hole-in-one.
Now to the 16th hole, and Frank, another good scoring chance.
If you can avoid the confusion off the tee, it looks like the hole might be a dogleg, then is it a carry? It meanders from one way to the other, but really when you actually break the hole down, it's virtually straight ahead.
Hold on here a second. She is winding up for a big one. She wants to smash it as far as she can hit it. You don't want to make a habit of it. In the bunker again off the tee. Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the greenside bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first.
Love that bunker shot. What's the key to good bunker play, Frank?
Using the bounce, that little sort of aerofoil on the bottom of the club. When you use that, it has a different sound. And you'll find it's much easier to get the ball out of the bunkers than what you first thought.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a two-shotter. You find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that third shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that second shot on.
Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. tremendous shot. Frank, you licking your chops here at the par 5, 17th hole?
Oh, why not? A chance to reach a par 5 and 2, but there's still pitfalls in front of you. A little creek or stream runs across the fairway, so really limiting the distance you can hit that tee shot, but it's still reachable from just short of that creek. Find trouble off the tee, then obviously you turn it into a 3-shotter, but a good tee shot, and it's too tempting to resist not going for this green.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. This for the victory at the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Continues to amaze, yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Just a great putt and a great win. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live first-round coverage of the Boston Championship. We're here at TPC Boston in Massachusetts. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action. And Frank, how does this course set up for the golfers out here today?
Well, Gil Hands and Brad Faxon, they did a lot of changes a few years back to sort of open up some of the driving areas. Consequently, you see there's a little bit more of a reward for the longer hitters. Fairways aren't really as tight as what you'll see on some other golf courses. Long and straight certainly gives you a big advantage at TPC Boston.
This is host of the Deutsche Bank Championship. That's a tournament that is part of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Is underway, and we'll take you out to hole number 4. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, we have already seen some excellent play. Frank, what are some of the keys to keeping this early momentum?
Basically just trying to do the same things. We're seeing good driving, good approach play, and very good speed on the green right now. Keep doing the same thing.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
From up here in our commentary box. Crowd goes wild after that eagle.
Well, just when you think struggling for a top 10, one hole, eagle, now in the top 5.
Ready now at the 6th. It is a tricky 465-yard par 4.
Yeah, hit it through the chute. Water comes into play a little bit down the left if you're a long hitter.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Second shot coming out of the rough here. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Just a little tap in here. Always nice to be comfortably inside that cut line. A wily golf instructor makes birdie. Frank, now a big par 5, the 7th hole.
Yeah, there's an interesting feature on this par 5, about 100 yards short.
Yeah, let's see what she's got here. She is loading up for the big one.
Ah, nice.
Looks good.
Whoa, that is long.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
He in the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. In the club at that and made sure they followed through.
In the cup. What a shot. Can't get much better than that. Hole number 8 now, 213 yards in length, a par 3. And Frank, what can we expect?
Really narrow at the front of this green. A lot of mounding. Ball normally kicks towards the left. One place you don't want to go, though, is that left bunker. The bunker shot's all downhill from there.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That is impressive. Hit every single green in regulation today. Well done. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Bang for another birdie. 8 under par for the tournament. Real golfers, by the way, do not eat tuna sandwiches at the turn. They eat a hot dog, right?
Well, yeah, but if you make a mess of 9, then you're making hamburgers.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Frank, golf so often is a game of avoiding something. What do you want to stay away from here at the 9th?
You have to avoid that little pot bunker just short of this green. If the pin's at the back, it's fine. You can fly the ball into the middle of the green. But if the pin's on the front, just make sure you carry that little bunker.
Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Long putt here. This will require a good touch. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Continues to hold that sizable lead on the rest of the field. Well, Frank, round 1 in the books. Look who's on top of the leaderboard.
And that's with some strong play today. They don't really need to look back. Strong play heading into the second round tomorrow.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Boston Championship. Frank, at 298 yards, the fourth is reachable for just about every professional. What might scare them off?
Well, that bunker on the left, that's really actually a chance to showcase your skills. And that's where you realize how much better professional golfers are. A good bunker play, especially on a hole like 4, and then you will get well rewarded.
This is a great place for a fan to watch, isn't it?
It is. You see so many different short shots around this green. The bunker shots from the left side, if you hit it over the back on the right, the little bump and run through the little valley in the green. Fun hole to watch.
Perfectly placed tee shot will set up an eagle opportunity, but then you see quite a few bogeys made here as well.
Yeah, if you stray a little bit, leave the ball too far short, then you have to play that pitch across the bunker. That's no fun.
What a tremendous display of golf this has been. Now on to the fifth, and Frank, a pretty challenging par 4.
Yeah, gentle dogleg to the left. There's a short bunker on the right. That's not really in play. You can just see that one on the left. Ideally, just want to hit something around 330 yards to this very difficult green.
Oh, that one is deep. Every bit of that ball. Probably going to have to hit one more club here, Frank. A little bit uphill.
What are the chances of making it from there?
Frank, the opening at TPC Boston, you could describe it as fun, gettable. It starts to change in character here at the fifth, doesn't it?
Yeah, beautiful par 4. You've got to be cognizant of exactly how far you can fly the ball, though, because there's 3 distinct sections of this green. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
That is just a beautiful shot. Second shot, good look at the green. It's in the hole. Just a sensational shot right there. This is one of the most challenging holes on the golf course, Frank. 465-yard par 4 sixth.
Yeah, just hit your tee shot in between those 2 trees. You don't have to be too aggressive. You really do have to hit this ball in the fairway because that green is tucked very close to the water.
That was just a beautiful drive. And hit it solid and right in the middle. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Vijay Singh, Charlie Hoffman, and Big Henrik Stenson, they all have one thing in common. They all tie for the low tournament score at TPC Boston, 22 under.
And they're all good. Now, this is a golf course that obviously gives in to the longer hitters. And if there's just a little bit of sting taken out of the greens, then these long hitters have a huge advantage.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Boston Championship. Hello again and welcome. I'm Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Novello. It is a gorgeous fall day here in Massachusetts, TPC Boston, site of the Deutsche Bank Championship, part of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Frank, a really good golf course and highly respected by the best players in the world.
It certainly is. Gives them an opportunity to score. Gil Hanse, Brad Faxon, they made some really good changes over the years, giving it that New England look, that old bunker style. And, of course, they've had a PGA Tour event here all the way back to 2003.
Nice drive, right in the fairway, and a good swing on that one.
Second shot. If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. Frank, par 4 13. Just swing away with that big stick with the driver.
Big advantage if you've got another 10 or 15 yards left in the bag here. If you can carry that left side, you certainly shorten this hole up.
She's ended up on the fairway and with such a good lie. So many more options available now. Down the hill from here, Frank probably going to go with one club less. Professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
All right, Frank, we're teed up at the 15th, and a lot to talk about with your caddy on this tee shot.
Yeah, which club, which line, series of bunkers down the left. That one short right doesn't really come into play. Another one, really, fairway first. Well, par fours, they're not all the same, Rich, but after that tee shot, I guess you can say this one's going to be easy.
That was a beauty right there. About 99 yards to the hole. Frank, can you recall a situation where before an important round, an instructor gave you one small tweak, maybe flare your left toe out, or just shift a little bit of the weight onto the back foot, where the instructor gave you that one small bit of advice and it made a huge difference?
Yeah, the list is too long, Rich, and it's normally just someone that you've trusted over the years, and we all make just little bad habits. Sometimes you're stooped over a little bit more than normal. You're not standing tall enough. The ball is too far back in your stance or too far forward. You're making a funny little move, or your grip is different. It's always the little things that add up to the big play.
Moving on to 16 now. This is one where you sort of lick your chops, Frank, because it's pretty short, 161 yards. Where's the challenge here?
Where the fish go. That big lake on the left, that's the challenge. Safely on deck.
Frank, not just a player, but an artist. Just beautiful work right there.
The only thing I can say, Rich, is that was Seviesque.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Just 2 holes left to play here at TPC Boston. Frank, we're on to the 17th, and what can you tell me about this 412-yard par 4?
It looks like a dogleg left, but you don't play it that way. Hit it straight down towards that bunker on the right side. Then the second shot's downhill.
Oh, I love this. She is winding up, just wants to tear the cover off this golf ball. Wow, I mean, she absolutely annihilated that tee ball.
Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle nose down.
Can't even see it from here. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Amazing.
Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston has generated a lot of buzz through the years, hasn't it?
It has, and those changes have just made this finishing hole so much better. The fact that they've narrowed up the front of the green, they've made that left side more severe. Now you can't bail out on the left. If you do, it's an awful little pitch or even a putt up the hill.
The addition of that pot bunker, Frank, how has that changed the hole?
Well, if you stray off the tee or find one of those bunkers with your tee shot, you really have to have exactly the distance that little pot bunker is away. Because if you just sort of whack it out of the bunker and lay it up there, you find the next bunker, then you're in trouble.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that is a ball-striking clinic right there. Another dazzling approach shot. Pretty close. Frank, it's one thing to jumpstart your round. This would ignite the round.
Yeah, you don't normally see two par fives back-to-back, so the chances of having consecutive eagles is so rare.
Frank, in golf, there's nothing quite like the final round of a hotly contested championship, and this one could be a doozy.
And there's nothing quite like that leaderboard I'm looking at right now. We are going to have some amazing golf. This one is going to have to be won.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Boston Championship. Always nice to be in New England at this time of year at the TPC Boston in Massachusetts. We're about 25 miles south of Beantown, and this is a really good-looking golf course, Frank.
It is. It looks much older than what it is. It was first established just at the start of the new millennium, originally designed by Arnold Palmer. But it got that older look from Gil Hanse and Brad Faxon. But also, too, you know, if you're racking up a few points out there, Gillette Stadium, home of the Patriots, just down the road.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be, what, 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that. Could have hit the flag and bounced away instead. Straight in. Amazing shot. And really deserves it.
Frank, here at the 16th, you really see this sort of New England character, don't you?
Yeah, that stone wall now protects that sort of two-tiered green. And it sort of showcases the golf course. It just fits in beautifully with what Hanse and Faxon have done to the golf course.
This is a good-looking shot. Oh, my goodness, Frank. I think that baby went in. Frank, the 17th here at TPC Boston underwent quite a radical change.
Yeah, that renovation and that redesign that they did, it changed the character of the hole, but they still kept that big mound in the middle of the green. So that second shot is still punishing if you misjudge it.
And players nursing the lead, they might want to think about playing it safe down the right side, but if you're trying to make up some ground, you could try to fly the church pews that divide the fairway into two sections, and that would give you a nice short wedge in.
Yeah, give you a short wedge in, but really the risk, is it worth it?
Has 80 yards left. Strong wind here early in the round. How do you think this is going to affect the players, Frank?
Well, they've got to be clever on a club selection and the type of shot they want to hit now.
Perfect. And in the hole. What a shot. You want to bring it home in style. You want to finish with a flourish. 412-yard par 4 17th. What's the way to play it?
Just hit it down the right side. You don't really want to mess with that sort of rock crop bunkers down the left side. All sorts of bad things happen if you finish there.
That one is just a little offline, and that will not end up in the fairway. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. To win the Boston Championship. So the Eagle goes begging and still has this for birdie. She's played some solid golf today. See if she can keep it going with another birdie. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Just a fantastic week of golf. Add that one to the win count.
A lot of great quality players out there, and to come on top of that leaderboard is truly a great accomplishment.
This is sports coverage of the PGA Tour. What really sets Quail Hollow apart here at the Wells Fargo Championship, the brutal finishing stretch. They call it the Green Mile, and we are excited to bring you all of the tournament action. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novello. Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Little uphill to this green, Frank. That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, it's a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
action flying all over the place. Let's get down now to the 13th. Frank, it's only the first round, but you're a believer that these can be as important as the final round.
Well, if you get yourself in contention, Rich, then obviously you get the momentum much easier and the feeling of being in the hunt. That's going to give you the adrenaline rush, and you'll breeze through 4 rounds.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there. Locked in on the read and the speed. Always nice to be comfortably inside that cut line. A wily golf instructor makes birdie. Now we come to the really interesting 345-yard par 4 14th. Frank, I'm thinking that if you're leading, you're probably not going to try to drive this and take on the risk with the water on the left. But if you're behind, you have a chance to make up some ground.
Yeah, I have it written in my yardage book, Rich, on this hole. Only good and bad things happen with a driver. Nothing in between.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. In the greenside bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem. Beautifully done, an eagle, suddenly into the top 15 and into the picture here. Now as we arrive at the par 5 15th hole here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards, Frank, I think a player has to be thinking about doing what Rory McIlroy did in 2000. Hold on here a second. She is wanting it up for a big one. She wants to smash this as far as she can hit it.
Oh, huge. Ooh. Huge with a capital H.
Busted that. She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. That's how you play the game, right there. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is. Oh, what an eagle!
It's going wild out there. This place is absolutely buzzing right now. Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.
Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Welcome to the home of the Wells Fargo Championship, where the likes of Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and long-hitting J.B. Holmes have all won. It was first opened for play in 1961. It has really grown through the years, and it is now played by the best in the world. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novello for EA Sports. Let's jump down to the golf course. Frank, this one's not looking good.
Yeah, certainly not down the fairway line, heading toward the rough.
Pretty good result right there, considering
It looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Frank, what's the right play here on this approach at the first?
You can go at the flag here at the opening hole, Rich, because the flag's normally in these little pockets on the screen around the big ridge in the middle.
That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. And getting ready for the putt. Wow, I thought that was in. Just a tap in to finish the hole. Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there. Frank, a nice mix of opening holes here at Quail Hollow in the Wells Fargo Championship. Pretty short par 3 here at the second.
A 180-yard shot will play more like 175 for the half a club downhill. There's much more green on that right side. If you're not too sure what club to hit, then you should stay away from that left side.
Frank, did you just see that?
She just made an ace, Rex. Amazing.
Hole in one. Yes. Frank, here at the third, players facing a challenging tee shot.
For a number of reasons, Rich. One, that the hole bends to the left. Two, that the fairway starts to run out. And three, the length of the second shot. You get rewarded the better you hit your tee shot down here.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, straight uphill with this approach shot, what do you have to factor in terms of club selection and setup over the ball?
Well, you're going to have to take at least an extra club to make up for that added elevation. And also, it's tougher to get onto that front foot.
Shots back.
All of a sudden put the name back into the mix just when we thought it might be too late.
Frank, this is a muscular par 4 here at just under 490 yards, the fourth at Quail Hollow, a difficult proposition. Hold on here a second. She is winding up for a big one. She wants to smash this as far as she can hit it. Really like that action. Lively golf swing.
Oh, huge. Huge with a capital H.
Busted that. Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we've got to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
This is a good-looking shot. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. So, Frank, what do you think of the start so far?
Rock solid. Very impressed.
Frank, in today's modern game where players are hitting it so far, I always feel like one of the more exciting holes is a reachable par 5, and here we are at the fifth, 570 yards.
Yeah, this is reachable providing you hit a good drive. Otherwise, it becomes very awkward on the layup. Sort of often threading the ball out of trees and just trying to find some sort of third shot. So to your point, big advantage with a good tee shot here.
Excellent looking shot here. Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
It's in the hole. Just a sensational shot right there. Here we are at the par 5 fifth. It's 570 yards. Frank, this should be reachable for most players, don't you think?
Yeah, if you hit a good tee shot, especially with the draw, it will be. But the hardest part of this is judging that kick on the fairway that kicks the ball to the right. And it sort of turns at that awkward area at where the top of your tee shot range. That's where that dog leg is.
That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie.
Second shot.
Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, that looked for all the world like it was dead center.
I've got no idea how that missed.
Just a little tap in here. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable. Well, Rich, 2 rounds in the books, and it's easy to see why the leaders are on top of that leaderboard.
Excellent performance, but still a long ways to go in this tournament. Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. And we welcome you to one of the most popular golf courses on the PGA Tour. It is Quail Hollow. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Frank, it is just starting to heat up out on the golf course. Fans are streaming in, anticipating a highly contested event with the best golfers in the world.
One reason the fans love this course so much, Rich, the green mile. It's fine to have a good golf course, but it's got to have a great finish. It's got a great finish, then it becomes a great golf course. Quail Hollow has that great finish of 16, 17, and 18.
Frank, it's kind of cool if your golf course has a menacing name for the finishing stretch. There's the Bear Trap at PGA National, the Gauntlet at TPC Sawgrass, and here at Quail Hollow, the Green Mile. Does it earn the nickname?
Rich, I don't know about the name, but I think if you want to look at 3 holes in a row that are really going to get your attention, perhaps wreck your car, then 16, 17, and 18 at Quail Hollow are the ones. 16, the par 4 over 500 yards. 17 is just fraught with disaster. And then 18 requires you hit your best tee shot. I think even if those holes were in 3 different parts of the golf course, they'd get your attention.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. Now the second shot on the 5th hole here at Quail Hollow.
12 shots. Every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3 and they might hit a 5-iron. It is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron where a lot of us would be with a driver.
Well, you see the advantage of that power on this very hole, not just because of the length they got to hit it, but the green they're heading into. This green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So, yeah, it's a big advantage if you can go at this hole with like a 5-iron.
Get down. Look out.
It's over. The green.
Settles in over the putt. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
That's a nice confidence builder right there. You make those for par, and you keep things steady. Well, Frank, an eagle is in play here at the par 5 7th.
And a 6, and a 7, and an 8, or a 9, actually. This is a potential scorecard record, a 7th hole. Many a tee shot has found that creek on the right, trees, problems on the left. There's no question there's a reward for a good tee shot here. But then there's a decision on do you go for this par 5 and 2. It's not overly long, just over 530 yards. It is very tempting. The great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Good-looking shot right here. Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Wow, Nate's eagle makes everybody else look sort of average, Frank.
And look at the size of that lead on the leaderboard now.
That wraps up the third round. Just one more to go before we crown our champion.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm looking at my crystal ball, Rich, but that champion that we see tomorrow might be the one just sitting at the leaderboard on top of it right now.
Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Thanks for joining us here today in Charlotte, North Carolina for the final round of the Wells Fargo Championship. Frank, what do we have out here today?
Well, if history has a chance of repeating itself, remember those great closing rounds by Rory McIlroy, that 62, that was one of the best rounds ever shot that year. Back in 2010, and of course that playoff too. Ricky Fowler back in 2012. We actually beat out then world number 1 Rory McIlroy with that stunning drive down the finishing hole and brilliant wedge to a tight flag. This golf course, it can give it, it can take it away, but for us, from where we're sitting, Rich, we'll enjoy the view today.
No doubt about it. Well, she's firing on all cylinders right now, has really played mistake-free golf. It has been a pleasure to watch. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the odd occasion we do see back-to-back eagles, but it certainly is something to watch.
You can't leave it short, Frank.
Oh, and especially right in the middle.
Just a couple of feet. And it drops for birdie. Frank, on this backside at Quail Hollow, a player does have a good chance to get off to a good start with that par 5 10th and now a relatively short par 4 11th, where a player with a good drive could stick a short iron in their hands.
Yeah, this is one you're going to have to make a decision. You can just play this as a straightforward dogleg left par 4 and hit a 3-wood or a long iron up there and 9-iron or something like that into the green. Or, if you want to, you can try and blast a drive around the corner. I don't know if that's the more prudent play, but it's fun.
Professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Frank, I think the mark of a good golf course design, changing directions. We go from a right to left hole, now at the 12th, to a left to right hole.
Yeah, there's no two holes at Quail Hollow that look the same. And this one slightly downhill, fairway tilts a little bit to the right, and it's a bit of a sleeper. And plus you add in on top of that 450 yards plus. This is a fairway that has to be hit.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Here we are now at the 12th, and Frank, this is a beautiful but dangerous hole, par 4.
It is in a number of ways. The hole bends gently to the right, which you'd think would favor a nice little fade, but the fairway just seems to shrink up. I've seen this fairway missed by so many good players. And plus its yardage, 450 odd. You can't really lay back too far, otherwise you've got too long for your second shot.
Just made a hole-in-one.
Join the LPJ, a hole-in-one.
To where the hole is cut today, this is about a 200-yard shot.
Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle-nosed down.
Can't even see it from here. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough.
Could have hit the flag and bounced around, steered straight in. Amazing shot, and really deserves it.
Now at the par 5, 15th hole, 577 yards. Frank, you remember what Rory McIlroy did here in 2010, that final round, 62?
I certainly do, Rich. That was an amazing run on the second 9. And holes like this, too. He just stood up here with a driver and just obliterated it down there with a nice draw. Took those bunkers out of play and just set up a mid-iron.
She really hit that tee ball nicely. It is in perfect position, and now she'll have a chance to capitalize. Now the second shot to the par 5. Leaves that one about 20 feet out from the cup. Nicely played shot. Frank, it's one thing to jumpstart your round. This would ignite the round.
Yeah, you don't normally see 2 par 5s back-to-back, so the chances of having consecutive eagles is so rare.
Just needs to keep it slight.
A little bit more hope than determination in that putt.
Par here's fine, isn't it, Frank? This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA Tour. It's known as the Green Mile. Frank, what? Hold on here a second. She is winding up for a big one. What's the smash as far as she can hit it?
That's a ginormous tee shot.
Frank, how about this approach shot to the 16th, the beginning of the Green Mile?
There is no other option but the aerial attack here at 16. Front bunker means it has to be carried. The one on the right really isn't in play. But that little hollow in that left front of the green, you've got to fly the ball at least 7 or 8 yards onto this putting surface.
In the hole. What a shot. At last, we have arrived at the start of one of the most daunting finishing stretches in all of golf. They call it the Green Mile, 16, 17, and 18 here at Quail Hollow. The 16th is a par 4, 508 yards, Frank.
And this hole was made even more difficult when they pushed that green further left to bring the water more in play with the second shot. I mean, it's a great par 4. It's strong in every single department.
Oh my goodness, Frank. I think that maybe went in. Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area. Just over 290 yards to get past that. And then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish. There's always advantage of hitting it further than most, Rich, and straighter than most. When you put the two together, it's just straight up a head start.
This is a good-looking shot. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
It has all come down to this, a chance to win the Wells Fargo Championship. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, year in, year out, the Wells Fargo Championship delivers the excitement and the great champions. And this year, well, it didn't disappoint.
No, joining the list of, the Ricky Fowlers, the Rory McIlroys, the J.B. Holmes, Sean O'Haire, Tiger Woods, Furyk, list goes on. These are the best players in the game. So adding your name to that list really is the hallmark of a very, very successful professional golfer.